Hello, fellow historians. Welcome to another episode of Documenting History. So if you lived in the New York metropolitan area, you may be familiar with WCBS-880 news station. And we just got word that WCBS-880 is going to change formats later in the month and will no longer be an all-news radio. So for the purposes of documenting history for the archives, for the next 2 weeks we're going to upload a daily snippet of WCBS 880 for history, so that future generations can go back and listen to a snippet of WCBS 880 in the New York metropolitan area. So it's not going to be FM, because 880 is in the AM dial. So it's not as clear as the 1010 Winds snippets. So without further ado, let's get you started. I think it's going to be about 2 weeks worth. I think August 21, 22, something like that. I think 26 maybe. All right, let's get you started.
Tomorrow for Thursday, sunny to partly cloudy, the high temperature between 80 to 85. So clouds moving in on Friday. It'll be more humid over the weekend. There's that word again. Scattered showers, 80 to 85 degrees.
65 degrees and sunny in Hudson Square.
When you need to know why, when it matters most. This is WCBS 880 News. Former Congressman George Santos would like an opinion poll taken in the jury pool in his upcoming fraud trial.
A judge rules Robert F. Kennedy Jr. cannot be on New York's ballot because he lied about where he lived in his presidential nominating petition.
Former President Trump says he plans to return to the site of the assassination attempt against him for a rally in October.
An investigation is underway in Newark in what appears to be a police-involved shooting.
The Yankees are embarrassed. It's a 12-2 loss to the terrible Chicago White Sox in baseball.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Hansen.
And I'm Paul Burdane, and this is WCBS and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
It's 7 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Palestinians mourning the loss of loved ones killed in what medics say were Israeli airstrikes in southern Gaza's Khan Yunis. It comes as Iran is expected to launch an attack on Israel in retaliation for the assassination of a top Hamas leader. Correspondent Tammy McCormick.
Iran is rejecting calls from Western governments to stand down. It insists Israel is behind the killing of Ismail Haniyeh and has vowed to avenge his death. In a statement yesterday, the U.S. and European allies urged Iran to de-escalate. Iran said the same countries have ignored Israel's crime.
If he were still president, Donald Trump tells Elon Musk there would be no threat.
Iran would not be attacking, believe me. You know, when I was there, and I say it with respect, because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around.
The live stream on X was delayed for 40 minutes by a technical glitch Musk blamed on a hack. He offered no proof. Tropical storm Ernesto expected to close in on the British Virgin Islands later today. Philippe Papin is a specialist at the National Hurricane Center.
The island of Puerto Rico is currently under a tropical storm warning, so they are also anticipating to get tropical storm force winds, some heavy rainfall. We also have some potential for some storm surge amounts of between 1 to 3 feet, especially for the eastern portion of the island of Puerto Rico.
New study projects a 93% increase in cancer deaths among men worldwide by 2050. The good news, the American Cancer Society's Dr. William Dayhut.
About 40% or so of cancers are preventable. And men are much greater users of tobacco, alcohol, tend to have greater occupational exposures.
We're going to get into some glare now, so I apologize, but at least you can still hear the audio.
Home improvement project, because they're uncertain over the economy and high interest rates. While the company reports higher than expected quarterly profits, it's warning of weaker sales in the back half of the year. A new survey finds a lot of car buyers are shocked.
$3.19 is the gasoline price here on Park Avenue.
According to Bankrate Shannon Martin,
in general, Georgia kind of topped the list over all of the categories. It has a higher cost of maintenance and repair. The cost of car insurance is on the higher end. And folks drive a little bit more there.
Next on the list are Indiana and Louisiana. S&P futures are up 3. Dow futures down 126. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Everything you need to know every time you listen. This is WCBS-880 News. 65 in the city this morning. The dew point is a very comfortable 55, 70% humidity, and we're warming up to a little over 80. It is a Tuesday morning, and it's 7:03 at WCBS.
Former Congressman George Santos would like an opinion poll of the jury pool in his upcoming fraud trial. WCBS Long Island Bureau Chief Sophia Hall joining us live with the story. Sophia.
And Tanya, at this pretrial hearing, former Congressman George Santos has a few requests for the judge. He wants the 800-plus potential jurors to take a survey about their opinions of him. He also wants their identities to remain hidden from the public. Prosecutors are calling the whole thing a delay tactic, and that Santos's public perception is of his own doing. Now, trial is set to start next month. Santos faces 23 charges of fraud and financial crimes. His attorneys tried but failed to get 3 of the charges against him dismissed. Santos has pleaded not guilty. He has been spending his time charging hundreds of dollars for one video message on the site Cameo. Tanya and Paul.
Sophia Hall in Long Island this morning watching that story. At 7:04, and a judge is now blocking Robert F. Kennedy Jr. from the New York presidential ballot in November. But as we hear live in Westchester this morning from our Sean Adams, Sean, RFK Jr. is still in there fighting.
He is. He's going to take this one back to court. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he says, listen, I have New York roots. His father was a senator. He was an environmental lawyer for a long time. He lived in Mount Kisco. But is he a New York State resident today? The judge says no. He used a sham address on nominating petitions and should not be on the ballot as an independent candidate for president. Kennedy rents a spare bedroom from a friend in Katona. The Clear Choice Political Action Committee held to bring this legal challenge, claiming that Kennedy really lives in Los Angeles with his wife, actress Cheryl Hines. RFK Jr. says Democrats, what they're doing here is showing contempt for democracy, and he's going to fight. Live in Westchester, Sean Adams, WCBS 880 News.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's the morning snippet of WCBS 880. This station will be gone in about 2 weeks. So the purpose today is to preserve a few videos and a little bit of history. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. We're going to see you on the next episode.